Check 1 2, testing 1 2, testing 1 2. What's up, everybody? It's your boy Doggie Diamonds. Another episode of Doggie Diamonds No Filter. Today I have a special guest who's gonna break down the breakdown for us. I can't break it down the way he gonna break it down, so I'm gonna ask him some questions and get a lot of things broken down. He got his notes ready. He sent me a lot of stuff behind the scenes. Everything that he say today, I already got the paperwork for. So let me bring him on without further ado. Introduce yourself to the people. What's your name?
Gongu Roach. I'm a publishing copyright consultant.
Okay.
So, Doggy, how you doing?
And right now, what's one of your biggest recent situations?
I mean, I got some current ones in. I really can't say. I mean, I guess people know me for the squaring out the big pun settlement.
The big pun settlement.
Yeah, I guess.
So when you got this big pun publishing back, who did you get it back from?
Jellybean Publishing. He was Pun's publisher in a partnership with Joe, and Jellybean was obligated to, send royalty statements biannually. Those statements weren't coming consistently. She wound up getting a lawyer. If you want to start there, she wound up getting a lawyer maybe early 2000s about, not getting statements and things like that. I think when the statements did come, the 3 or 4 lawyers that she had over like the 10 years period of time, they couldn't really translate the deception. They couldn't really see the deception in the royalty statement. So, a friend of mine introduced me to her. Actually, she was.
And when we say her, we're talking about Liza Rios.
Liza Rios.
Yeah, if I say, because you like her, like.
Yeah, a mutual friend of ours.
Okay.
I don't know if he wants his name mentioned or whatever, but he introduced me to Liza when she was in the homeless shelter around 2009 or so. And I didn't have the royalty statements at that time. I was trying to put it with lawyers and stuff like that. And I put it with one lawyer. It wasn't working out like the way we wanted to. And we stopped for a minute, and then we went and got another lawyer like 2 years later. Let's just say that, and I wouldn't had a better lawyer, and I was a little bit better at my skill set. And when I finally got the royalty statements, the second time I got it with her, I mean, I found the problem I found the deception in the royalty statements probably within like a minute. These lawyers had the same paperwork for like 10 years. I swear to God, I probably found it in a minute. As quick as I could read it, I found it.
So when you say deception, what is the deception?
The way he manipulated the royalty statements. He was keeping her unrecouped. But you got to prove that, you know what I'm saying? So I was able to see through how he was keeping her unrecouped. And that put confidence in the lawyer from what I showed the lawyer. And we set up a lawsuit somewhere around September 2014.
And so when you're doing this lawsuit, is it Jellybean and Fat Joe, or is it Jellybean? Because I think people don't know who was against.
I mean, well, it's public knowledge. I mean, it's Jellybean and Fat Joe. You know what I'm saying? But it's Jellybean is holding the statements. It's everybody. It was all three. It was Jellybean and Joe and Pun as a partner. So
got you. We
had to sue them in order to see what statements was coming in through Jellybean. And he was even in court, he was giving out deceiving statements and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? A bunch of missing pages. We hired an auditor. The auditor found over $2.3 million missing.
Wow.
I'm saying, so when she was saying I'm missing money, this and that, no one was believing her.
So she was saying she was missing money, but Fat Joe said, "Yo, I gave her $1 million. I gave her this." As far as you know, is any truth to any of that?
Man, I mean, the case was settled. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, honestly, Jellybean was Jellybean is the guy who had his hands, dirty, you know what I'm saying, for making the fake royalty statements. You know what I'm saying? It's not the only person he was doing that to. I guess he was doing that to other clients and stuff too. I mean, you could read a Madonna lawsuit where Madonna was suing him for $10 million. He was manipulating royalty statements through her. I mean, that's just what he does. You know what I'm saying? So there was a point in maybe 2004 where maybe Liza was maybe like at the point of like 80,000, coming close to recouping.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next biannual that came kicked her back up to like 400 and something thousand. You know what I'm saying? For no reason. You know what I'm saying? So, but like I said, a lot of the statements she wasn't getting. So he was manipulating statements behind the scenes, not giving it to her. And then when you ask for a statement, all of a sudden it says 400,000 on it. You know what I'm saying?
So for the people who don't understand, she's 80,000 close to recoup, and then everything right after that is profit for her. Then they would take the statement and say, "Oh, but you still owe."
Mm-hmm.
So instead of you owing 80, now you owe 400 now.
He put it up to 400,000.
Wow.
But never showed her the statement where she was going down to 80.
Got you.
That statement came into discovery in court where we were able to connect the dots because he was only showing her the big recoup. He wasn't showing her that she was down to 80.
Wow.
Or 5 or something like that. But in court, we were able to see. And even those statements were bullshit.
Yeah. So, all right. The publishing will consist of what? It would consist of capital punishment, right?
Yeah, baby. Whatever songs that was on the compilation album.
Okay.
The third project. Features, John Blaze, records like that.
The second album.
The second album, the third project. John Blaze was on the second album.
I'm not sure. I'm not even sure. Yeah. So, all right.
Mm-hmm.
What about this alleged pun writing the Joe's second Don Cartagena album? Is that true?
I was told that he did put heavy participation in the album, and he did name him Don Cartagena. That's one part I do know that I was told, and I do know that, or at least I was told he did put a heavy hand on that album.
And did he get publishing though?
I don't think he has any publishing for that project.
Whoa.
I mean, for records that he featured on, yeah.
Yeah. But you're saying if he wrote other songs, he didn't even get the pub for it?
No,
because that would have came up in the statements, right or wrong, right? You would have saw that, right?
Yeah, it would have been. Yeah, it came up in the statements, that song, absolutely, with a publishing split. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
But at the same time, he might have just hit him with a bunch of cash or something.
Yeah.
So
what about when y'all are in court? Who exactly is showing up to the court proceedings? The mediation.
I showed up every time except for once in court, and I did not show up to the mediation, but I was in the hallway, you could say. I was in the hall, you know what I'm saying? Or I was outside the building room. No, it was just the lawyers the whole time. The whole time is the lawyers. The only time they showed up, like Jellybean and Joe, was at mediation.
We hear a lot of things. We hear Fat Joe saying, "Yo, she need to get a job." I gave her all this money. She blew all the money. So basically, that wasn't true.
Nah, that couldn't be true because there was over $2 million missing. You know what I'm saying? So that was that's a lot of money. You notice when that kind of money is missing. You just know. So yeah, I mean, she wasn't lying.
Yeah,
obviously, you know what I'm saying? And it could have been more if we would have had more from the discovery, but Jellybean wasn't giving everything up. You know what I'm saying? So it could have been 2.5 for all I know.
So when you take somebody to court, how much does it cost you to take them to court?
Oh, how much did it cost me?
No, I'm just saying, because don't sometimes when you take people to court and you're suing in these situations, they try to like stretch it out, adjourn it, and do stuff.
It took 2 years. I had to pay for an auditor. You know what I'm saying? I had to pay the lawyer. I had to pay for a lot of things, and I had to be confident enough that I knew what I was doing for the money to come back.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So I mean, obviously other people weren't trying to take that risk, but I believe in my skill set to that point where I knew I was going to get it back because I saw the discrepancy as soon as I got the paperwork in my hand, which the lawyers couldn't see.
So, Loud Records has this big event. Big Pun is a very big, intricate part of Loud Records, the success of the label, as well as Wu-Tang, Mobb Deep, Exhibit, others, Raekwon, others. But I don't believe Liza, Chris, or any of the family was there. Do you know why they wasn't there?
Well, I was told that they were trying to work out getting there through maybe Steve Rifkin and Joe, and I think there was one other person, and I don't think they ever had the phone conference that they were supposed to have in order for them to come or something like that. So I think at one point they were just like, all right, it's not working out, so
So they had a big Pun event without his family there. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. That's wicked.
Yeah, with his son, like his spitting image, kind of rap almost identical to him that could have did all his records and wow. Yeah, that's
yeah. I mean, I wish it could have happened. I really don't know the detail, but I mean, they were trying to put it forth, and I do recall there was one point where I think I got a call that Joe was trying to reach out at one point, and then I never heard the back end of it. You know what I'm saying? So I do know that they were trying to reach out. I think Joe was trying to reach out. I do know initially that's what was trying to go down.
So this publishing comes back. Do Liza Rios, does the estate own everything that's coming in from Big Pun from here on out, or do they still have to split stuff?
No, they got the majority of their publishing back. There's copyright laws and things like that where Jellybean bought into the copyright due to the advance back in '96 or whatever. So he still has a small percentage of the publishing for maybe like another 8 years or something like that, and then they become whole. But they got a big portion of the publishing back.
So the publishing is split between Big Pun, Fat Joe, and Jellybean Benitez. That's who split the publishing? Or who did the deal with Jellybean? Because I don't think Pun did the deal with Jellybean, right?
No, I think Joe did the deal with Jellybean.
So he did. So he did a deal with Jellybean for Pun's publishing.
Yeah.
How did he get Pun's publishing?
Well, they partnered up, and he said, "Yo, we're going to go to Jellybean, and Jellybean's going to take 25%, and the other 75% we're going to split." You know what I'm saying? There's $1 million comes, Jellybean gets $250. You get, $375,000. I get $375,000.
Is that common? Because I always look at it like, I'm gonna be real with you. If that's your man and you love him and all that, you want to see his family and all that, like, why are you going to take half his publishing? And he writing for you.
I honestly, in this game, I grew up with I don't know if you remember the rapper Redhead Kingpin.
Yeah, Brooklyn. Yeah.
I mean, I went to high school with him. That was my guy growing up.
Do the right thing. Yeah.
When he signed to a guy named Gene Griffin, who was like a Harlem gangster. He
had
Teddy
Riley. Yep.
Okay. So I mean, Big Bob today. So these guys back then, when they signed their deal, they had no publishing. They signed over 100% of the publishing over. So we're talking about 50-50. You know what I'm saying? So I come from in high school. People like, yo, like they got no publishing, this and that, and I don't even know what that means back then. This is like 1989. I don't know what that means. You know what I'm saying? But after the years, I learned that it wasn't the best thing. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, when you hear these guys 50-50 and they're doing these deals at like 24, 23 years old, like, yo, let's do the 50-50. I'm not really mad at them over doing that. Maybe over time you give it back and you get more knowledge, you're older, it's like, okay, I understand now. But a lot of these guys crewing up together say, we're going to split it down the middle. At the early age, I could accept that.
What I'm trying to get to the bottom of is, okay, Fat Joe does a deal with Pun for his publishing. Cool,
Mhm.
50-50, but then they sell a percentage of it to Jellybean.
Mm-hmm.
Pun passes away.
Mm-hmm.
His Pun's widow and his children go into a homeless shelter.
Yeah.
And then they say, well, there's no money. But obviously somebody was getting money, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. And then he says she needs to get a job. But it's like a couple of M's out there that she's entitled to, though, right?
Yeah, I'm one, I guess I don't know what Jellybean was telling him. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what Jellybean was telling him. I don't know if Jellybean was like, I'm paying her. I mean, I think, honestly, I think he probably should have stuck his nose into more of it to see what was going on that side.
Yeah, but and I will defend her for a minute. She's a woman. She didn't sign up for none of this stuff. She don't know her husband, just passed away. He didn't leave.
Yeah,
he didn't leave. He didn't leave nothing, no instructions. You know what I mean? So I would have thought his man would have said, "Yo, the family is good. I'm gonna make sure they good." You know what I'm saying? But whatever. But
I mean, they got. I mean, I think they got into a heated battle early. You know what I'm saying? Where they just weren't communicating with each other the proper way. It's very unfortunate. It's just highly unfortunate because I mean, if I had a wish, I mean, that would definitely be to see that mended and
yeah. When I met her, I interviewed her. I interviewed her in about 2006 or 7.
Mm-hmm.
She was I think they was in the shelter. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, I just couldn't understand, like, how is Big Pun's widow and his children, you know what I'm saying, why are they in this situation? And I just couldn't understand it, and I couldn't understand it.
I don't know if it was like a blessing that they just met me, you know what I mean? Because honestly, they would probably be in the same situation.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Honestly, you know what I'm saying? It would be still deceiving statements. Even if they're recouped, there would be underpayment of royalties, things like that coming from Jellybean.
So keep it real. Mm-hmm. Did Fat Joe pass the buck to Jellybean and have Jellybean deal with it, or he should have dealt with it more? I'm confused because if him and Pun was 50-50, that means Jellybean didn't have the bulk of it.
Yeah, what? Say again?
If him and Pun was 50-50 and then they sold some of it to Jellybean, then
20%.
then okay, they sold 20, so they got 40. 25. All right, so they still got more of it. Joe still has more than Jellybean.
Joe got 37.5.
So why do y'all have to go to Jellybean instead of going to Joe if he just has a small percentage? I'm confused.
Well, you gotta go to Jellybean because the money's supposed to come directly from Jellybean and the statements.
Okay.
See what I'm saying? And Jellybean disperses to just the two parties. Here's your money. Here's your money. You know what I'm saying?
But Joe got his though, right? As far as you know, because we ain't hear him complain. He just said his.
No. In the transcripts in court, he said that he wasn't getting paid either.
So if you know you not getting paid, bro, you know she not getting paid. She complaining in the shelter. Like, at what point do you say, yo, all right, I don't rock with her, but that's my man, wife. Like, we got to make sure him and the kids are straight. I'm not saying that to you. I'm just saying in general. You know what I'm saying? I'm just confused. I don't think no relationship should be that scarred. Even if you don't do nothing for her, forget her. Make sure them babies is all right. Because they were babies when Pun died. You understand what I'm saying? They were literally babies. So, that's just me. But, I got a different moral compass than other people. I'm gonna make sure
he said in court, Jellybean was lying to him too. He said that Jellybean wasn't paying him either. I don't know if he got that rectified. You know what I'm saying, or not?
I'm calling BS, but it's all good. I'm calling BS because at the end of the day, some people not gonna play with their money. This woman don't know.
Mm-hmm.
She had to bump into somebody by the grace of the universe. You understand what I'm saying? Because like I said, if you didn't come in and save the day, it's 2021. She still would have been like I don't have no money, and they would have been like, well, you still have to recoup $500,000. You understand what I'm saying? And but I'm glad it's all rectified. That's you know, thanks to you and others. Make sure you click subscribe, youtube.com/DoggieDiamondsTV. Until next time, peace.